don't know what you want, you're lost. Okay? And your focus is being sucked from the outside into all sorts of negativity, and your life goes on a downward spiral. Boom. Okay? So, figuring out what it is clearly and succinctly and precisely that you want is the most important step. Now think about this for a second. Let's say, and I know this is kind of childish, but let's say that you ran into a magic genie. Okay? You got an Aladdin's lamp, and you got this genie who came out of it and said, hey, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna, whatever you can figure out in the next 15 minutes that you want for your life, I'm gonna give it all to you. Okay? You got 15 minutes to figure out what is it exactly that you want. I'm going to give you everything you can tell me that you want precisely in the next 15 minutes. What would everybody right now be doing? They'd be scrambling for paper, pencil, writing all this stuff down, right? And think about it. Real quick for a second, just think about it. If you could have anything that you want, what would you have? What would be your point B? What would your point B be? I mean, what kind of house would you live in? Where would it be? What would the view out of your bedroom window be looking at? Would it be looking at the ocean? Would it be looking at the mountains? Would it be looking at the forest? Would it be looking at a lake? When you looked out of your family room into your backyard, what would that look like? Okay? Would there be a swimming pool with an infinity edge that looks like it was pouring into the ocean? Would there be a pool with an infinity edge that looks like it's pouring off the side of a mountain? What would it be? What would it look like? What kind of car would be sitting in your garage? You know, what kind of vacations would you take? Would you take your wife to Fiji for a month? Would you take your kids and your wife, or sorry ladies, would you take your husband and your kids to Colorado skiing for a month? What would you do? Would you take, 60 days and sail around the world in a sailboat? What would you do? Would you build a new church? Would you feed the hungry kids, clothe the people that don't have any clothing? Would you educate the ignorant, or maybe educate the young with success principles to create a better world? What would you do? Who would you give to? What would you give to them? Define clearly what you would like out of life. And then, because here's the problem most people have, is that as they figure out all this stuff, they forget that in order to... In life, we get what we are. Okay? In other words, you are where you are because you are who you are. Okay? You get in life, you attract in life that which you are. And I'm going to explain the reason and the power of this focus in a second. But it starts with right here. And so what kind of person would you have to be, okay, in order to get all of this stuff? And part of the beauty of what we're doing here in Ambit is that, we can sort of say to you, well, if your lifestyle needs to look like this, and if you need to make this kind of money in order to have this kind of lifestyle and this kind of house and this kind of car and take these kind of vacations, if you'll hit this level, okay, executive consultant or national consultant or whatever new levels the company's going to come up with in the future, if you hit this level, that multi-million-dollar lifestyle, that's what you'll have. Okay? And so we'll help you put some labels on some things that will help you. But for right now, define clearly what it is that you want. And then once you've done that, step 2 is...
Oh, we're gonna pause him for a moment. Hold on!
On the spot and make third-party calls for them. Okay? And so I started doing that, like trembling and shaking, but I went ahead and I did it. I'm going to teach you that process here today. I went ahead and I did it, and I called like 20 people, and I set up about 15 appointments. My business took on a whole new perspective. I started doing this, then my guys took the ball by the, the bull by the horn, so to speak, and they started doing it too. And all of a sudden, the duplication aspect that started happening was unbelievable. So let's cover a little basic groundwork here first, okay? We have a system here in Ambit, and this system is a system that works the numbers. It's sorting and sifting with the system, okay? And this system consists of, the Energy 526 and some of the Ambit websites and so forth. And what happens is the system works like a funnel. You'll see it on the screen, a funnel. And you put prospects into that funnel, and they come out the bottom. The system sorts and sifts. It presents the movies to them. It shows them the information, provides them with all that. They come out the bottom, okay, as either a consultant, a customer or a moron. Not more information, you know, I mean, you know, I like that moron word. But, you know, a consultant, a customer, or someone who needs more information, okay? So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a fast start. You get people involved in the business, and the fast start says this. You're going to make a list of at least 100 people, 100 plus people, and the 10 who you know best are your customers, okay? Why? Because those are the people that have seen you sitting in the bathtub with a lampshade over your head, about to cut your veins. Those are the people that know all your problems. Those are the people you went crying to, begging for money, or you were going to go bankrupt. You got no credibility with those people, you understand? And so those people, but you know, they love you, and they'll do anything for you. So we're going to make those people your customers. The rest of the list is going to be your prospects for consultants, because they don't know you that well, so you have more credibility with them, okay? So let's talk about how to contact customers correctly, okay? Now, if you've got sharp people that get in the business, anybody can use this script and get customers, okay? But I'm going to recommend to you that as you get new people in and you make these lists, you sit with them and you start making those calls to the 10 or 15 people they know best on their list, and if you see that they get a little queasy or whatever, you make the calls, okay? But here's how I would contact customers today, particularly with this free electricity thing that Ambit has, okay? I'd call people up and say, hey, Bob, if I could get you free electricity or natural gas, would you be interested? Now, what's the answer to that question, folks? There's only one answer, yes, unless you have zero credibility and they're going, oh, no, you're not going to put some contraption on my meter and pretty soon the police is going to come and take me to jail, are you? No, no, no. Okay, and so here's the thing. If I could get you free electricity or natural gas, would you be interested? Of course you would. Okay, well, great. Now, people say, well, how can you do that? And that's the biggest question you're going to get. People say, well, how can you do that? And you say, it's pretty simple. I'm working with a family who founded 7-Eleven. You've heard of 7-Eleven before, haven't you? Well, of course you have. Well, they got involved in the energy business and developed a cutting-edge model, and they've created a program to be the largest energy provider in the nation and are willing to let their customers earn free energy in order to do it. Would you like to get free energy? Folks, it's as simple as that, and answer the other questions. You've got great leaders who can teach you, you know, all the ins and outs of handling the objections and how to quote the rate, and how to do this and how to do that, okay? But you know what? The main thing is that if you will do that, if you will use that little script, okay, you will control your success. Now, here's the interesting thing, mind you. You get a new person in, and that new person doesn't know how to make the calls, okay? Can you teach your new person to say, to call their mom, hey, Mom, if I could get you free electricity, would you be interested? Okay? Can they call their aunt, their sister, their brother-in-law, hey, Bob, if I could get you free electricity, would you be interested? And then all they got to do when they say, well, come on, what are you kidding? How are you going to do that? Hold on a second. I'm going to put a friend of mine on the phone with you. Hand you the phone, and you go. I'm working with a family who found 7-Eleven. You heard of them, haven't you? Right? And they've developed a program to be the largest provider in the nation. They're willing to let their customers earn free energy, blah, blah, blah. And you explain it. You learn how to do this. The key is you get on the phone, you make the calls, you control your success. It's your business. Don't leave your success in the hands of other people, ladies and gentlemen. You make the call.